Very much. We gather here today as members of a historic alliance, an alliance that saved and changed the world. You know, when this conference began in 1963, it was in a nation, actually it was on a continent, that was divided against itself. The line between communism and freedom ran through the heart of Germany. The first barbed fences of the Berlin Wall had gone up just 2 years prior. And just months before that first conference, before our predecessors first met here in Munich, the Cuban Missile Crisis had brought the world to the brink of nuclear destruction. Even as World War II still burned fresh in the memory of Americans and Europeans alike, we found ourselves staring down the barrel of a new global catastrophe. One with the potential for a new kind of destruction, more apocalyptic and final than anything before in the history of mankind. The time of that first gathering, Soviet communism was on the march. Thousands of years of Western civilization hung in the balance. At that time, victory was far from certain. But we were driven by a common purpose. We were unified not just by what we were fighting against. We were unified by what we were fighting for. And together, Europe and America prevailed. And a continent was rebuilt. Our people prospered. In time, the East and West blocks were reunited. A civilization was once again made whole. That infamous wall that had cleaved this nation into two came down, and with it, an evil empire. And the East and West became one again. But the euphoria of this triumph led us to a dangerous delusion that we had entered, quote, the end of history, that every nation would now be a liberal democracy, that the ties formed by trade and by commerce alone would now replace nationhood, that the rules-based global order, an overused term, would now replace the national interest, and that we would now live in a world without borders where everyone became a citizen of the world. This was a foolish idea that ignored both human nature and it ignored the lessons of over 5,000 years of recorded human history. And it has cost us dearly. In this delusion, we embraced a dogmatic vision of free and unfettered trade, even as some nations protected their economies and subsidized their companies to systematically undercut ours, shuttering our plants, resulting in large parts of our societies being deindustrialized, shipping millions of working and middle-class jobs overseas, and handing control of our critical supply chains to both adversaries and rivals. We increasingly outsourced our sovereignty to international institutions while many nations invested in massive welfare states at the cost of maintaining the ability to defend themselves. This, even as other countries have invested in the most rapid military buildup in all of human history and have not hesitated to use hard power to pursue their own interests. To appease a climate cult, we have imposed energy policies on ourselves that are impoverishing our people, even as our competitors exploit oil and coal and natural gas and anything else, not just to power their economies, but to use as leverage against our own. And in a pursuit of a world without borders, we opened our doors to an unprecedented wave of mass migration that threatens the cohesion of our societies, the continuity of our culture, and the future of our people. We made these mistakes together. And now, together, we owe it to our people to face those facts and to move forward, to rebuild. Under President Trump, the United States of America will once again take on the task of renewal and restoration, driven by a vision of a future as proud, as sovereign, and as vital as our civilization's past. And while we are prepared, if necessary, to do this alone, it is our preference and it is our hope to do this together with you, our friends here in Europe. For the United States and Europe, we belong together. America was founded 250 years ago, but the roots began here on this continent long before. The men who settled and built the nation of my birth arrived on our shores carrying the memories and the traditions and the Christian faith of their ancestors as a sacred inheritance, an unbreakable link between the old world and the new. We are part of one civilization, Western civilization. We are bound to one another by the deepest bonds that nations could share, forged by centuries of shared history, Christian faith, culture, heritage, language, ancestry, and the sacrifices our forefathers made together for the common civilization to which we have fallen heir. And so this is why we Americans may sometimes come off as a little direct and urgent in our counsel. This is why President Trump demands seriousness and reciprocity from our friends here in Europe. The reason why, my friends, is because we care deeply. We care deeply about your future and ours. And if at times we disagree, our disagreements come from our profound sense of concern about a Europe with which we are connected, not just economically, not just militarily. We are connected spiritually, and we are connected culturally. We want Europe to be strong. We believe that Europe must survive, because the two great wars of the last century serve for us as history's constant reminder that ultimately our destiny is and will always be intertwined with yours. Because we know
diabetic. Did you know the color of your urine can reveal what even your A1C test can't? I'm going to show you a home trick.
Because we know that the fate of Europe will never be irrelevant to our own. National security, which this conference is largely about, is not merely a series of technical questions. How much we spend on defense or where, how we deploy it, these are important questions. They are. But they are not the fundamental one. The fundamental question we must answer at the outset is, what exactly are we defending? Because armies do not fight for abstractions. Armies fight for a people. Armies fight for a nation. Armies fight for a way of life. And that is what we are defending. A great civilization that has every reason to be proud of its history, confident of its future, and aims to always be the master of its own economic and political destiny. It was here, in Europe, where the ideas that planted the seeds of liberty that changed the world were born. It was here, in Europe, where which gave the world the rule of law, the universities, and the scientific revolution. It was this continent that produced the genius of Mozart and Beethoven, of Dante and Shakespeare, of Michelangelo and Da Vinci, of the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. And this is the place where the vaulted ceilings of the Sistine Chapel and the towering spires of the great cathedral in Cologne, they testify not just to the greatness of our past or to a faith in God that inspired these marvels. They foreshadow the wonders that await us . Visioning and shaping our economic and our political future. De-industrialization was not inevitable. It was a conscious policy choice, a decades-long economic undertaking that stripped our nations of their wealth. And this is the place where the vaulted ceilings of the Sistine Chapel and the towering spires of the great cathedral in Cologne, they testify not just to the greatness of our past or to a faith in God that inspired these marvels. They foreshadow the wonders that await us in our future. But only if we are unapologetic in our heritage and proud of this common inheritance can we together begin the work of envisioning and shaping our economic and our political future. De-industrialization was not inevitable. It was a conscious policy choice, a decades-long economic undertaking that stripped our nations of their wealth, of their productive capacity and of their independence. And the loss of our supply chain sovereignty was not a function of a prosperous and healthy system of global trade. It was foolish. It was a foolish but voluntary transformation of our economy that left us dependent on others for our needs and dangerously vulnerable to crisis. Mass migration isn't some fringe concern of little consequence. It was and continues to be a crisis which is transforming and destabilizing societies all across the West. Together, we can reindustrialize our economies and rebuild our capacity to defend our people. But the work of this new alliance should not be focused just on military cooperation and reclaiming the industries of the past. It should also be focused on together advancing our mutual interests in new frontiers, unshackling our ingenuity, our creativity, and the dynamic spirit to build a new Western century. Commercial space travel and cutting-edge artificial intelligence, industrial automation and flex manufacturing, creating a Western supply chain for critical minerals not vulnerable to extortion from other powers, and a unified effort to compete for market share in the economies of the global South. Together, we can not only take back control of our own industries and supply chains, we can prosper in the areas that will define the 21st century. But we must also gain control of our national borders. Controlling who and how many people enter our countries, this is not an expression of xenophobia. It is not hate. It is a fundamental act of national sovereignty. And the failure to do so is not just an abdication of one of our most basic duties owed to our people. It is an urgent threat to the fabric of our societies and the survival of our civilization itself. And finally, we can no longer place the so-called global order above the vital interests of our people and our nations. We do not need to abandon the system of international cooperation we authored, and we don't need to dismantle the global institutions of the old order that together we built. But these must be reformed. These must be rebuilt. For example, the United Nations still has tremendous potential to be a tool for good in the world. But we cannot ignore that today, on the most pressing matters before us, it has no answers and has played virtually no role. It could not solve the war in Gaza. Instead, it was American leadership that freed captives from barbarians and brought about a fragile truce. It has not solved the war in Ukraine. It took American leadership in partnership with many of the countries here today just to bring the two sides to the table in search of a still elusive peace. It was powerless to constrain the nuclear program of radical Shia clerics in Tehran. That required 14 bombs dropped with precision from American B-2 bombers. And it was unable to address the threat to our security from a narco-terrorist dictator in Venezuela. Instead, it took American special forces to bring this fugitive to justice. In a perfect world, all of these problems and more would be solved by diplomats and strongly worded resolutions. But we do not live in a perfect world. And we cannot continue to allow those who blatantly and openly threaten our citizens and endanger our global stability to shield themselves behind abstractions of international law which they themselves routinely violate. This is the path that President Trump and the United States has embarked upon. It is the path we ask you here in Europe to join us on. It is a path we have walked together before and hope to walk together again. For 5 centuries, before the end of the Second World War, the West had been expanding. Its missionaries, its pilgrims, its soldiers, its explorers pouring out from its shores to cross oceans, settle new continents, build vast empires, World War path we ask you here in Europe to join us on. It is a path we have walked together before.
Let's do it all over again. Let's crumble for the world one more time.
And hope to walk together again. For 5 centuries, before the end of the Second World War, the West had been expanding. Its missionaries, its pilgrims, its soldiers, its explorers pouring out from its shores to cross oceans, settle new continents, build vast empires extending out across the globe. But in 1945, for the first time since the age of Columbus, it was contracting. Europe was in ruins. Half of it lived behind an iron curtain, and the rest looked like it would soon follow.
Hey,
The
Pan,
great Western
can you pause
empires had
that for a
entered into
second?
terminal decline.
Can you go back just 10 seconds? See that comparison he's making before and after World War II, what happened? When he say contraction. Let's go back to that quickly.
To cross oceans, settle new continents, build vast empires extending out across the globe. But in 1945, for the first time since the age of Columbus, it was contracting.
You want
Europe
to
was in
stop that
ruins.
and dissect it, Pan?
You do it.
Basically, the way I gather and the way I understand it, that statement is that he was saying the West, the evil empire and Europe together were conquering the world. Everything was smooth.
For 5 centuries.
Yeah, for a very long time until this contraction happened. That was after World War II, correct? And the way I'm understanding is that he does not like that construction, and he wants to go back to the old ways when they were expanding, taking up territories, bringing civilization allegedly. That was a good thing.
Maintain hegemony.
Yeah, that was a great thing. Now, this new thing he does not like. So together, let's work and go back to them old days. That's what he's saying.
That's right.
Yeah.
You got it correct.
hmm
All right.
In piece that you say, that you left out though, without guilt.
Without
They
guilt.
want,
That's right.
right. They want to revisit that path without guilt.
Mm.
That's that worth some examination.
That's right. That's right. And the other thing too, TikToxic, when he was saying America's greatness comes from here. Our people are tied to here. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, this dude is making a lot of crazy allegations that are like completely unhinged.
Hold on. We'll dissect it afterwards.
All right.
But in 1945, for the first time since the age of Columbus, it was contracting. Europe was in ruins. Half of it lived behind an iron curtain, and the rest.
He's also reminding them, he left that out. He's also reminding them that because WW2 was fought in Europe and not in America. America was untouched. He's also reminding them who helped them rebuild. He didn't say it, but here he's reminding them who helped them rebuild Europe. Who funded. All right, I'll continue.
And you know what the Iron Curtain he means by the bear.
Soviet.
Soviet, yeah.
Okay.
Looked like it would soon follow. The great Western empires had entered into terminal decline, accelerated by godless communist revolutions and by anti-colonial uprisings that would transform the world and drape the red hammer and sickle across vast swaths of the map in the years to come.
He spoke like we speak here. He spoke in codes. He spoke in codes. He called out the dragon, but he gave it a different name. He called out the bear, gave it a different name.
Iron curtain for that bear, and the slap in our face though was right there. Another slap in our face, saying anti-colonial movements as if we weren't supposed to fight for our
freedom.
You want to play that back right there, please? Just 20 seconds.
Looked like it would soon follow. The great Western empires had entered into terminal decline, accelerated by godless communist revolutions and by anti-colonial uprisings.
Anti-colonial uprisings.
What's the word he used? Godless? What's the word?
Did anybody catch it?
I was just about to post that in the comments. Yeah, that was one of the ones that I heard for sure. I was like,
What
excuse
did he
me?
say? What
He's
did he say?
That's
What
right.
the word?
the hammer and sickle.
No,
The
before
hammer
that.
and sickle, but he said gogless or some shit, anti-colonial
Okay, one more
movements.
time. Everybody pay attention.
Yeah, but I
The
want to
great
hear that
Western
word.
empires had entered into terminal decline, accelerated by godless communist revolutions.
Godless.
What's that?
Oh, so the
What is
Pan
it?
Africans. That's what he's saying. The Pan Africans and
Right, 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 right. You understand what I'm saying?
What's godless? What does godless mean?
I wanted
he calling
somebody to
us
look it up.
heathens, like pagani or pagan or something like that. Like people who are not Christian, basically. Those
Hmm.
are people who
Godless?
are
Did you say
traditionalists. Yeah.
godless? Godless?
Yeah, godless. Like he's
Godless.
saying we don't have
Oh,
God. Yeah.
godless.
Yeah. He calling us heathens. He took it back.
Oh shit. Godless?
I think
He's
G-O-D?
he's referring to um, the Soviet and the
No,
dragon,
no,
isn't
no.
he?
He addressed that separately. He's
Mm.
telling you the combination of threats that
Hold
came
on, hold on.
on after
I
the.
think I got it now. Let's just do one more time. I think I
Yeah,
got it
go
now.
back to that.
Yeah,
Because
but can I
I think the
describe it as
anti-colonial and the godless goes together. I think they go together.
no, yeah, the godless
yes.
anti-colonial struggles. But
Yeah, they go together. I think that
what I want to further describe is he is describing post-World War II. He is saying the collapse of the empires. Now, he didn't even say collapse. Something, oh damn, what's the word he used? But anyway, he's describing the anti-West
yes.
movement.
Yes.
You understand?
Hmm.
So go ahead.
And the rest looked like it would soon follow. The great Western empires had entered into terminal decline, accelerated
Terminal,
by
right.
godless communist revolutions and by anti-colonial uprisings that would transform the world and drape the red hammer and sickle across godless communist revolutions.
Godless.
Okay.
Godless
Godless communist revolutions.
revolutions.
Right.
Meaning
And
I
then
think
anti-Western.
you
anti-colonial.
remember
Okay.
the Cold War, the Cold conflict and all that, yeah. Like you remember this is deals with like the non-aligned movement and stuff like that. And you know how they used to throw the hammer and sickle on people who weren't necessarily like self-proclaimed hammer and sickles. They just wanted
Right,
self-determination.
right, right, right,
But in
right.
their view, that's the same thing. Because technically, yeah, it kind of is. Like you want to own your own stuff. You want to expropriate, the means of production from them, nationalize things. Like, yeah, like you are a hammer and sickle, even if you don't claim it. That's how they feel.
And, you know, have I not been,
Do you want to wait till we finish
huh?
before we dive deep, or do you want to do it in between?
Go ahead, 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 go ahead.
And by anti-colonial uprisings that would transform the world and drape the red hammer and sickle across vast swaths of the map in the years to come. Against that backdrop, then as now, many came to believe that the West's age of dominance had come to an end, and that our future was destined to be a faint and feeble echo of our past. But together, our predecessors recognized that decline was a choice we used to make. This is what we did together once before. And this is what President Trump and the United States want to do again now, together with you. And this is why we do not want our allies to be weak, because that makes us weaker. We want allies who can defend themselves so that no adversary will ever be tempted to test our collective strength. This is why
And Europeanism. People say it doesn't exist.
Yep.
Our collective strength.
Yep.
Yet we want to practice individualism, yet they want to practice collectiveness.
Yeah, brother, you're right. But Do you think African heads of states would phone each other and say, "Hey, listen, bro, can we sit down and dissect this together"?
Nah, while that was going on in the very
Fuck,
same day,
man.
Africa was making great moves, and I'll explain what's going on afterwards. Same day. The same thing you are talking about, Cyril Ramaphosa's statements against
Imperialism.
yeah, against
I
imperialism.
haven't seen it yet, so I'm not sure.
No, I ain't even talking about the speech. I'm telling you about what collectively happened on that same day. I'll tell you when you're done.
Okay, cool.
Because that makes us weaker. We want allies who can defend themselves so that no adversary will ever be tempted to test our collective strength. This is why we do not want our allies to be shackled by guilt and shame. We want allies who are proud of their culture and of their heritage, who understand that we are heirs to the same great and noble civilization, and who together with us are willing and able to defend it. And this is why we do not want allies to rationalize the broken status quo rather than reckon with what is necessary to fix it. For we in America have no interest in being polite and orderly caretakers of the West's managed decline.
Yeah, catch that.
Stop it right here.
I stopped it.
Wow, he said the quiet part out loud.
Oh,
That
man.
says it all.
Oh, man.
Try telling Black MAGA that though.
Oh, man.
And who is he? He's not even white.
Right.
The
That'd be cool.
hypocrisy. How
Yeah,
he
yeah.
include himself? We more
Hey,
American than he
you're
is.
gonna hear
How
it. He's not
are
done
you
yet.
more American than him?
No. She's talking about white tea. She's talking about white tea.
No,
I'm talking about
tea.
Rubio.
Yeah.
He's
But white
a
tea.
FIA. He's a FIA, Foundational Indigenous American.
Oh. You know what? It's only for white teas.
But he
I got so much things to talk about.
Bro, he's brainwashed just like Michael Langley. So they're on the same boat to work for the white tea.
This man said we are all heirs to this noble civilization.
Let's get to that before we'll pause it there too and dissect that too.
Huh?
When he says it, we'll pause it and we'll dissect it. He hasn't said it yet.
Oh, you pull it back a little bit?
Yeah, has he said it?
He said it a while ago.
Oh,
I don't know, but
I didn't hear it. My bad.
he did. I went away. My bad.
I missed it.
Yeah, he said we
I
are
heard
heirs
it. He
of this
said it
noble,
loud and clear.
loud and clear,
That's
bro.
crazy.
And then followed it up
He
with
said ears?
they're not going to be, damn, what's the word he used? Like
He said they're not going to be shamed literally and apologetic for
Can
what
you go
they
back to it,
plan
Pan?
I don't know why.
I
Yeah,
remember
and he
that
was
part for
talking
sure. I
about
was
the
like, oh, they
decline.
want to violate.
Damn, what's the word he used, man? He's not going to be. Go ahead, man. Touch it back. Just 20 seconds, bro. 20
He just said
seconds.
it a little while ago.
Just 20 seconds ago,
Oh,
bro.
my bad. Oh, I thought it was like a long time ago. My bad. Yes.
And able to defend it. And this is why we do not want allies to rationalize the broken status quo rather than reckon with what is necessary to fix it. For we in America have no interest in being polite and orderly caretakers of the West's managed decline. We do not seek to separate, but to revitalize an old friendship and renew the greatest civilization in humanity.
Did I miss it?
It was a little bit before that, but I think that part is even super, super, super important. He's literally telling the West it's not time to harp on the huh?
Dragon?
No. He's saying it's not time to harp on like the fractures in the foundation. That's my words. But it's time to think of solutions. So he's talking about the dragon, of course, and the mere fact that the world is saying the Western powers is declining. He's saying it's not time for the West to look at that perspective and to think about solving the problem. Touch it back, you hear it. Touch it back. Let's touch it back 7 seconds.
Together with us, are willing and able to defend it. And this is why we do not want allies to rationalize the broken status quo rather than reckon with what is necessary to.
The broken status quo.
Right. Meaning what the structure of the Western civilization, the whole, you know, so help me in MLK, man. You know exactly the words to pull. You get what I'm saying? His time is not to talk
Wait, I'm
about, like
sorry.
I
Niggas
describe it
saying
as
the
the
structure
fracture.
of this country from back in the day.
Right. He's saying it's not time to focus on the fractures. It's time to focus on how to fix it. He said broken status quo. I'm saying, in other words, it's the fractures of the Western Empire. He's saying it's not time for the Allies to focus on that, but now it's time to focus on fixing it. Touch it back again, bro, and you'll see what I'm saying.
Can I add to that? So
Yes,
hearing
yes,
this in context of everything, what I'm also hearing is that he doesn't want them to focus on political niceties. That's what I'm hearing a lot of, like the human rights and, you know, international law, like that's the broken status quo. And he's like, I don't want people to be talking about like, oh, this, you can't violate this, you can't remove a leader who is democratically elected. Like, he's like, I don't care about any of that. Like, we're gonna do what we need to do in order to get the results that we want, which are the results that we've achieved using these same methods in the past. That's what I'm hearing from him.
Right. That's his methods of fixing it.
Yeah.
You feel me?
He's like,
So break the rules.
let's fix it by joining together.
Break the rules they utter, basically.
Right. So
Yeah,
touch
he's
it
like,
back, touch it
they
back,
put in
touch
place.
it back.
I touched it back. That they put in
All
place.
right, good.
okay.
All right.
No adversary will ever be tempted to test our collective strength. This is why we do not want our allies to be shackled by guilt and shame. We want allies who are proud of their culture and of their heritage, who understand that we are heirs to the same great and noble civilization, and who together.
We're heirs of this great and noble civilization. We are heirs of this great and noble civilization. And then let it rock, because it's going to go in exactly what we're talking about.
All right.
You know what? Hold on. Let me chip something in though.
Yes, bro.
I think the core of the message in itself is that they should not have a guilty conscience about remigration.
That's right.
Yeah, the West, Europe in itself, they kind of want to make it feel like they have a conscience about it. But it's making them understand that don't feel some type of way about it. Do it.
That means taking it back to the way it used to be, like 5 centuries ago.
That is why we see. I think we talked about it before, and it's becoming obvious now that the States is bankrolling the righty wings in major European countries.
That's right. That's right.
That's why you see there's a. Apart from there's
nicknames.
That's exactly right.
So you know behind that, they beat some ICE agent in Italy. You know that, right?
I had to send them over there.
I heard about it.
Beat the shit out of them.
I heard about it.
No, I saw a number of videos, like about over 7 days now. Beat the shit out of them. So I was saying this remigration shit is real.
It is. And you know what's funny though? You know what's funny though? The country of the mustache, man, is actually it's funny. It's weird to me that the country of the mustache, man, is actually standing against it.
I know. I heard them.
Which is weird. Where in the world will you believe the country leading the cause against remigration is the country of the mustache, man? So
I already told you the
yeah,
mustache
so
man.
but guess what though? There's a party in the country of the mustache man called the AFD. Go look them up. AFD. Yeah, call right. But we've seen the uprise of that party in the past 3-4 years being bankrolled by Elon.
Hey, nicknames.
Yep. Yeah, but being bankrolled by him. So we see the picture's becoming more clearer now. And another thing though, the mayor of London, okay?
Nicknames style.
Yeah. The mayor of
Moving forward, because
yeah, it's been the most criticized by the Orange Man. And sometimes I wonder, what does the Orange Man have to do with the mayor of the Queen City? Go look it up. He always attacks that mayor. The Orange Man keeps attacking him back to back to back. So we always seem to wonder, why do you keep attacking this man?
is he
But
Indian?
no, he's half Asian, I guess. His name is Khan.
Mm.
Yeah, so we're seeing a trend. It's becoming clearer and clearer now. They trying to whiten everything back up. That's the plan.
Mm.
Yeah, it's obvious in the speech. We can hear it.
Mm.
Yeah, everybody's going right. Everybody's going right. And the moment the major cities start to fall, that's it. We're looking at even Canada.
Mhm.
Canada is fighting tooth and nail with the right Tea Party.
Help me out, my
Uh-huh.
brother.
Uh-huh. You're right, Tayo.
I
I beg,
said that.
Tayo. I beg, man.
No, let me
Nicknames.
nicknames. Yeah.
You know,
So
Tayo though.
yeah, yeah.
You can call that country maple flower,
Maple flower country, maple
Come on,
leaf
man.
country.
Come on, I
Yeah,
beg, help.
maple leaf. I got you.
Don't
I
mess with
just
my
want
brother
to, I
Pat,
want to
man.
come
Don't mess
in
with
and
his
just,
account.
Nigga pan shook.
hold on.
Of course.
Let me just
That
give a
pan
push.
shook.
Oh my God.
Hello.
But
Hello,
it's
how are you,
all in the
brothers?
speech though. You see what's going on?
Hello.
Yeah.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, you have to hear we still.
You hear me?
Hold on, man. You just arrived, brother.
What
Huh?
up, brother?
You just
I'm,
arrived.
I'm at work, just take some break. I just want to say some few words.
Go for it.
All right, go ahead.
Tayo made great points, man.
About what we are listening right now. I have been telling this to people that Africa is supposed to unite now because now all Africans are starting to deny them the natural resources. And now when they deny them the natural resources and the resources that they spare, they have in their stores, when they finish, they will come for them. They will come to Africa, they will come. Now they're trying to mix, people that will come and attack those governments and throw them away. If they could not do that, they will come themselves. Well, you see, that's what he's talking about right now. Recolonization, you know. So that's what I've been telling you. All African leaders have to
Understood.
come together and create a big unite, army to protect the continent.
Mm.
They have to start, to build, all air defense systems and protect that continent because they will come for them. That's
Well,
what I have to tell right now.
all right. Thank you.
You
Well,
know,
thank you. Well
they
said,
know
well
that
said,
too,
well
right?
said.
You know, they know that Africa is slowly trying to unite and asserting itself and doing away with the borders and visa. And, once that happens, they will be able to assert themselves fully
Yeah.
and challenge, the whiteys. They know that. This is why now they're emboldened. But the question is, do Africans know that this people know and they're on to them? So they should move a little faster and they should guard the progress they're making. So that way this progress does not get, wasted or pushed back 10 steps back to where they
They're
came
already
from.
there. They're already there, brother.
You know, that to me is like, are they seeing this?
They're already there.
You think Africa's there, or the YTs are doing that to us?
They're already there.
The YTs?
They got boots on ground.
Yeah. Yeah. They see it, man. This is what I'm telling you. But you know, of all the African nations, I know we give South Africa a hard time, but I got to give South Africa, man, some props. They are pushing back.
I give that government props. I don't give Dudula props.
No,
I give
not the Dula, not the government. The
that
government.
government props.
Yeah, the government. The Dula is bullshit, man. The government. Yeah, they're doing an awesome job. But yeah, it's. I'm afraid, man. I'm afraid.
I'm not sure why they don't like that government. I could be wrong, but I'm not sure about Ramaphosa. But I give Ramaphosa props. I just think the YTs make his job difficult.
Yeah, but the YT government inside South Africa are
Right.
instrument of the West. They are literally spying on behalf.
Hey, okay, so just hold it there. Just hold it there. Pause. All right. We're going back in.
With us are willing and able to defend it. And this is why we do not want allies to rationalize the broken status quo rather than reckon with what is necessary to fix it. For we in America have no interest in being polite and orderly caretakers of the West's managed decline. We do not seek to separate, but to revitalize an old friendship and renew the greatest.
We do not seek to separate. Why do we as Black people choose to separate? It doesn't make any sense to me.
Civilization in human history. What we want is a reinvigorated alliance that recognizes that what has ailed our societies is not just a set of bad policies, but a malaise of hopelessness and complacency. An alliance is the alliance that we want is one that is not paralyzed into inaction by fear. Fear of climate change, fear of war, fear of technology. Instead, we want an alliance that boldly races into the future. And the only fear we have is the fear of the shame of not leaving our nations prouder, stronger, and wealthier for our children. An alliance ready to defend our people, to safeguard our interests, and to preserve the freedom of action that allows us to shape our own destiny. Not one that exists to operate a global welfare state and atone for the purported sins of past generations. An alliance that does not allow its power to be outsourced, constrained, or subordinated
Talking about Black
to
Americans. The quiet part is said out loud.
He's
talking about Black Americans.
You sure? I'll
Yes.
run it.
Just because that's all they talking about. Oh, we wasn't those wasn't no, what they say, we didn't have y'all as slaves. Those was our ancestors. Why y'all trying to make us feel guilty? This is what we hear.
All right, let's hear it one
What
more
are you
time.
talking about, Black Americans? Play it again, that part.
Okay.
Nations prouder, stronger, and wealthier for our children. An alliance ready to defend our people, to safeguard our interests, and to preserve the freedom of action that allows us to shape our own destiny. Not one that exists to operate a global welfare state and atone for the purported sins of past generations.
Is that part? I'll keep going.
That part,
Exactly.
that part.
He's talking about
Exactly,
Black
yeah.
Americans.
Yeah, that's it. What are the scenes?
That's exactly who he's talking about.
Yep.
Damn, I didn't hear it
Yeah.
again. I
Yeah.
can't type and listen.
Yeah. I picked up. Yeah. That was talking about. What are the
Safeguard our
scenes?
interests and to preserve the freedom of action that allows us to shape our own destiny. Not one that exists to operate a global welfare state and atone for the purported sins of past generations.
Oh yeah, that's everybody. That's enslavement and colonization. They like, we
Yeah,
are
we
not
talk-
ashamed.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's
They said
mainly
we gonna
Black
get this
Americans.
money.
All right, that's crazy. I think that thinking about doing this again 2.0. Can they pull it off?
You know
Of course,
what?
yes,
You
they
know what?
can.
I've been
With
saying
technology.
They can try, but
I've
it
been
ain't
saying
gonna
it
work.
for months.
No, they
You
I've
will
been
have a
pull it
saying
off.
it. They
further
trying to
interpretation.
All
It's
They
gonna
will
lead to
pull
the
it
all
it's
off.
over
gonna
the
lead to
country, they're
WW3.
building
It's gonna lead to
tents
WW3.
for
Yo,
for
Pan,
profit.
they're already doing it, man.
I
Look
know,
what
but
they did to
it's
Africa.
gonna lead to WW3 though.
10,000 beds, in 5 cities. 10,000 beds in 5 cities. For profit prisons.
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
In some sense, could I say something?
Yeah.
No, brother, you can't.
You know, I didn't
Of
know if
course
the
you can't.
sister, no, I didn't know if the sister was finished. So I'm saying he is literally also continuing this idea of he's saying he don't want to be a part of this global welfare system, and he want to return to where they charter their own like political destiny. He didn't say that, but he said that, right? Right? He said they no longer want to. They want to charter their own destiny.
But
Follow.
it comes back to what the states of the policies now that it's going to be more, it's less AIDS and more business.
So with
Right.
that, I think I get
Yeah,
what I
less
think
AIDS.
TikTok
Yeah.
said what you're talking about. There's points in the speech where it sounds like they are confirming isolationism to some degree, but then at the
Right.
same time they're like, but we're gonna have that we're gonna have colonies. And so the only time that makes sense for that
Right.
is if you go back in history, they did have enslavement, and Europe had the colonies as well. So I'm saying, like, they're trying to turn the clock back. That's what it sounds like, but I don't know.
Precisely.
But I think it's gonna them attempting to do this. But I think they're already doing it. Like if you look at different parts of the world, which they're inserting themselves now, they're trying to get Cuba, Iran. They already got Venezuela to an extent. Nigeria is on the list. Ghana is already in there. Somalia is on the list. I'm not sure where else in the world.
Well,
Some
Nigeria
places
is
in Asia also. Some places in Asia.
Nigeria is the big dog. So if they do that to the big dog, everybody else will bend the knee. So
At
they
the
know
end of
it
the
too.
day, man, this is what
Psychologically, bro, they know. Psychologically, they know.
Kenya is
They
on the
they
list. Kenya
they
is on that too.
they really really know. They're like, okay, these are African people. Where can we hit them? Who has the influence? Well, Kenya and Nigeria. If you control them too, I've said this before. If you control them too,
oh Lord.
you control Africa. You don't have to worry about South Africa because they have planted whiteys in the parliament.
Mm.
In the parliament, there are planted whiteys. You don't have to worry about that. That's already taken off. But the South African BLK government is literally fighting with the whiteys that are inside the power. So that South Africa is so different, man. But Nigeria and Kenya, you gotta conquer them too to conquer the continent of Africa. And they did. They did. Unfortunately.
It looks like it.
Unfortunately, bro.
And they're not done yet. That's still in progress. Work in progress.
Man, you can't resist.
An alliance that does not allow.
Say again?
Go ahead, brother.
No, say again. I didn't hear. I thought you were done. Say it
I was
again.
done. I was saying you can't resist if they control those two. It's hard.
Okay, push it back a little bit.
Not one that exists to operate a global welfare state and atone for the purported sins of past generations. An alliance that does not allow its power to be outsourced, constrained, or subordinated to systems beyond its control.
You know who's talking about? You know?
If what?
The dragon, who he's talking about.
Of course the dragon. Of course the dragon.
Outsourcing the labor for cheaper.
Yeah, and align with systems out of their control, because of course you see that the dragon is building alternative systems for a whole new direction of the world, and Bro, this whole speech is appealing to Europe because the empire is in trouble. Period. Bottom line. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He is including them now to show that if they fall, Western civilization falls.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah, and because they're
Yeah,
both
he's trying to connect their futures.
and
Right.
because technically they're both interwoven anyway.
Correct. And that's
Yeah,
what he's
It's
saying.
true.
Don't
yeah,
forget, as powerful
yeah.
as we are, we are a child of Europe.
This is what I call like a it's
Just to
like a hard reset. That's what they're trying to do. You know, when you try to hard reset the system.
Very well said. Very
Yeah,
well said.
yeah. That's it. That's what they're trying to do. Like,
Very well said.
Dare I
And
say the Great Reset? You know?
right, right.
I was going to
Very
ask
well said.
something. In this part of the speech, why he makes them sound like victims, if I remember this correctly. When I listened to
Always
it and
play
I'm listening to it now, yeah, there's like, oh, it's outsourced to these other
Oh,
countries. We don't
so
have control over
fucking
it. And I'm
brilliant,
like,
bro.
whose fault is that?
always
You
play
outsourced it
victim.
yourself.
Always. How dare you want your freedom? How dare
And
you want
and
equality? How dare you? How dare you? You're
and
playing victim. Allow us to do what we want.
that too, that too. But the point I think Inimal Kia is saying, and he said it in earlier part of the speech, where he's describing the rise of the dragon as some manipulation. You understand? Saying we won't be extorted when it comes to precious. You remember early in the speech, Pan? We was talking about the extortion behind precious metal. He didn't say precious metal.
I think he's about to
What
say
is
that
it?
right now.
Precious minerals.
I think that he's about to say that
Mm-hmm.
right now.
He's about to say it again because he said it early. He said it early. Yeah, he said it very early in the speech where he was describing the condition, the current condition, and saying how he's describing the whole WTO. He didn't say World Trade Organization, but he's saying when they offshored their industries and now we're being deindustrialized. I'm like, how is y'all being, who's doing that to y'all? Like, who deindustrialized y'all? Y'all wanted to take advantage of low Eastern labor, China, India. I mean, the
The
elephant,
dragon and
the
anywhere else.
dragon, the elephant, because I guess India is the elephant, ain't it? That's one of their main
Okay.
symbols in their celebration, right? The
Yeah.
dragon, the elephant,
Yeah.
and the other Asian and ASEAN nations, they was taking advantage of the Nike, Reebok, Walmart, and now they're saying they're being deindustrialized. They took a risk of thinking that this would be long term, like enslavement. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And the big dragon turn it around. Of all the people who got the opportunity, the dragon turned the shit around and turned themselves in a peer competitor. Now this people is describing the dragon as if the dragon manipulated them. Isn't that what you heard?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm like, you're not a victim here.
You're not a
Like,
fucking
they're like, oh
victim
my
here.
gosh,
They wanted
they crying.
free labor for that corporation.
you know, like a Karen. You know when a Karen goes on the tantrum. That's what's going.
But they are victims because they feel like they're entitled. If you feel like
Listen,
you're entitled, which they always thought they was, so in their mind they are victims. This is why he have suing all these
That's
companies all over the U.S. talking about white men are being discriminated against.
this ninja is
that's
making
true.
a try to Europe that if we fall, this grand noble civilization falls. It's this time for us to restore this grand vision of our forefathers.
It made me think about Haiti, what she said and what you're saying, and what Diamond is saying. Like, you know, Haiti and other countries, I'm not sure all of them right now, but you know, they made them pay. We know the history, right? They made them pay back for revolting, having their own independence. So that entitlement, it's still the same. Like, they don't believe that it's in anyone else's, you know, right or whatever, or nature to actually be self-determining. And so when you do try to chart your own path and, you know, run your own country for your own people, they feel like personally attacked by that. And so they're just like, how dare you? We need you to pay us back for freeing those enslaved Africans. Or, you know, we feel like you are taking advantage of us because now you've manufactured everything for the world. Now you have too much leverage. You owned our securities and stuff like that. You have too much leverage. It's like, who told you to sell them to them? Who told you to give them the treasuries and stuff like that? No one told you to do that. No one told you to run up the credit card like that, you know? Yeah.
All right, let's see here.
To the future. And the only fear we have is the fear of the shame of not leaving our nations prouder, stronger, and wealthier for our children. An alliance ready to defend our people, to safeguard our interests, and to preserve the freedom of action that allows us to shape our own destiny. Not one that exists to operate a global welfare state and atone for the purported sins of past generations. Allow its power to be outsourced, constrained, or subordinated to systems beyond its control. One that does not depend on others for the critical necessities of its national life.
See, I thought he was going to say it. All right, let's keep going.
Okay.
And one that does not maintain the polite pretense that our way of life is just one among many, and that asks for permission before it acts. And above all, an alliance based on the recognition that we, the West, have inherited together. What we have inherited together is something that is unique, distinctive, and irreplaceable. Because this, after all, is the very foundation of the transatlantic bond. Acting together in this way, we will not just help recover a sane foreign policy. It will restore us a clear sense of ourselves. It will restore a place in the world. In so doing, it will rebuke and deter the forces of civilizational erasure that today menace both America and Europe alike. So,
He mean the sins.
He
I
said
think
too
they talking about all of the
much.
black people, you not just black Americans. They talking about all the sins they done in the past. That's crazy.
What you get, Toxic?
Did you hear how he
What
said
did I
that they're
get?
gonna?
I get what I said before. I know what you got. I know what
You know what I got? I
You
typed
got
some of it. I was like,
That man
he
said
said,
civilization is
we gonna do what we do.
civilization.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's what it's pushing to
civilization
go
of
over there to
erasure.
Nigeria and all that.
Did that man say civilization
You
of
said he
erasure?
tired of depending on resources, literally asking for resources.
Did
Where the
that
resources at?
did that man say civilization?
No, he not talking about that.
He's talking about China when he said that.
He said forces of civilization. I think he's talking about the concept of the dragon, like the dragon itself, but also back to the hammer and sickle, the concept of self-determination. All these things are seen as existential threats to the European psyche. Okay, so like he's pulling them in, right, with this. He's like, you know, we have to protect our cultural heritage, you know, our national interests. All these things are wrapped up in a bow for them. So other groups of people outside of Europe and the West in general, having self-determination is considered civilizational erasure to them. Like, because their civilization is predicated upon dominating the rest of the world. So if
Right,
we're self-determining, then we're erasing their civilization. It's
right,
a zero-sum thing.
right, right. Supremacy don't blossom in fields like that.
Am I running back a little bit?
Yeah, certainly. Certainly. I got a good laugh a while ago, man.
Because this, after all, is the very foundation of the transatlantic bond. Acting together in this way, we will not just help recover.
What did you get?
The bond over enslavement,
Transatlantic
huh?
bond.
Yo, that man just
What's the
lit the
bond over?
tiki torch. That man just lit the tiki torch with one of them kitchen lighters. That man just lit the tiki torch. You get it?
I
Every
think
time
they
you say
talking about the
transatlantic, I
motherland.
feel
I get the
so.
bond.
They talking about that
He
motherland.
is. It's you talk about all of us.
Yep, the
You talking about all of
motherland.
us.
He talking about Mother Africa.
And her children.
Right. And the mere fact that he's talking about this transatlantic, he's talking about global dominance. And of course, that includes our repression. You understand? He said it that's our transatlantic bond. That's what he said?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yes, and what are they bonding over?
right, what are they bonding over? Dominance, you understand? The supremacy, so-called supremacy. The Honorable said the JEW stick together by religion, the YT stick together by the unwritten law and the assumption of superiority.
Keep going.
You understand? Now I'll just leave it right there. That's what he's feeling threatened. He's feeling threatened, you know what I mean? He's feeling super threatened right now. This is a beckoning call.
How about the other
That's
people? How do they feel connected?
who who he's appealing to.
Yeah, I mean, he's talking about the Europeans. How are they
He is
connected?
sitting in front of predominantly Europeans
Right.
in that thing. He started off the lecture by saying the first time this meeting was kept was in 1963 after the WW2, you know, and start describing the conditions of Europe post WW2. But he lied then too, because, you know, we really need to talk about the significance of WW2. How much times I said this on your panels, Pan? How many times since you met me have I said, for us to leapfrog our international understanding, sit with your kids and watch WW2. Try to understand every friggin' bit, every friggin' bit of the. You realize that you never listen to geopolitical talks on mass media without them referencing 1945, 1950s, post World War II, 1945, 1950s. You never noticed that?
Yep.
Anybody?
Yep.
And this has been going
Yeah.
on for a year. That's the greatest reconfiguration of geopolitics ever. That's the biggest hit whitey supremacy ever got. 65 million unalive people in the battlefield. You know what I'm saying? Destroyed cities that was built on the backs of, from the backs of on the backs of our foreparents. All them lovely, you know, castles and rare that got destroyed, and you know what I'm saying, infrastructure that got this. We never sat and calculated the loss of those empires that gave America their seat as the global hegemon. I speak about this all the time. It's very important that we analyze, because what he did, am I talking too much?
No, keep going.
What he
No, we
did,
listening.
what he did, even in the beginning of the speech, is a false equivalence of what happened during WW2, you know, when he's talking about, you know, at the closing of World War II and the rise of the Iron Curtain and the threat of threat what? How was the Iron Curtain a threat? Because the Iron Curtain embraced communism, and communism doesn't harbor the tenets to conduct whitey supremacy and white dominance. You realize? As you've been saying, the hammer and
Yeah.
sickle have been the tool they use to villainize any rising movement as if it's the worst, as if it's the devil's serum or some shit. Right?
They called it godless. They did call it
He
godless.
just said he called it godless. He called it godless because that doesn't facilitate whitey dominance, you know, both economic and politically. You understand? All of our leaders throughout the Black American struggle, not all, but significant count of our leaders was deemed hammer and sickle, even when they wasn't.
Exactly.
Majority of the people throughout the Caribbean, my prime minister was accused to be a hammer and sickle because of his affiliation with Fidel Castro, or Cuba, better yet, without calling me. Even today, Cuba, that is dangerous. But our neighbor, our Spanish neighbors, Maurice Bishop was unalive because of his association in that same period, and he was villainized. He was mischaracterized as a hammer and sickle. Salvador Allende, or where more name, you know, Nicaragua, Guatemala, all of them was labeled as hammer and sickle. You remember that, right? I'm not talking a foreign story.
Yep. Shout out to the original September. I can't say the full thing, but they overthrew Allende that day. That if you know, you know. The day that people say we shouldn't forget. Yeah, that day many years before they overthrew Allende. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, so it's just funny, you know, these speeches reveal a lot of things. I told you, this is so coded, it's not, this shit is so freaking loaded and coded, it's not funny, bro. And he's unapologetic. Like, I mean, I don't know. It don't get no worse than this shit right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is Tiki Torch
we
5.0.
clearly we're any black person with dignity would be offended by this.
But this is what I want to
Wonders.
say on a bring some light to this. You guys are my what would I say, our think tank, and I've been saying it. The rise of the dragon and their realization of their dirty game is pulling apart the West. How much time I've said that?
Forever.
Right. No, like really, I get people upset because I say the dragon is defeating white supremacy. It is a fact. It is a fact. If you listen to the Dragon's delegate, me and Pan and AES have listened to many speeches and a few of them is saying, you know, it's from the State Department. They have revealed that they see this as the first non-whitey threat to global hegemonic status. It's the first time since 500 years the West has been threatened by a non-white civilization. You remember that? Victor Gao said it, and Ronnie Chan said that shit.
That's exactly right.
You understand? And this is why I'm telling you how white supremacy works, bro. You understand what I'm saying? They said at least,
Matter of fact, let me find that video.
yeah, at least the bear is of like cousin status. That you hear how grimy it is?
Man,
At
you
least the
recall that
bear,
so good.
huh?
You recall that so great.
Bro, you know I'm a Gaviite, man. I give thanks for his geopolitical view that he left. You know,
You know Marco's not done yet, right?
yeah,
He like,
yeah,
when can he play? We ain't never gonna finish
yeah.
this
But
other
those
damn
are some
terminus.
crucial
It's almost
points.
done. It's
Meaning,
almost done.
I think it's valuable that we stop and speak on those points, though,
Okay.
because
Okay.
it'll
Yes.
fly over our heads. This is very heavily coded, man, loaded, man. This speech is loaded. You hear me? You don't even
It feels like
understand.
we're in Bible study. That's
Yeah,
what it feels like. We're going after
No,
each
I
verse.
agree. I like it. I like it when
Right?
we stop and
but
talk about it.
I'm gonna say something though. It sounds more like a speech that Stephen M wrote.
Yeah, I get that vibe.
This is a Stephen M kind of speech.
Who?
Probably saying we should quote shit over there.
Yeah,
Give me the code. Give me
okay.
the code again. I didn't hear it well. Give me the code
It's a
again.
scrawny, bald headed guy who he's really
But he
hateful,
spoke.
and
Did
he's
you hear
like
the speech that he had over there?
I didn't
That
hear either, but I
that's
know
the
it's gonna
Let me
speech
hear the
sound
that I
like
code. Let me
him.
hear
heard.
the code one more time.
Stephen M.
Oh yeah, I think he wrote it.
Like
100%. This
I
is
think he
him
wrote
right
it. I
here.
think he wrote it. I think
Okay,
he wrote it.
okay.
You
I
can,
You
think
need
he
to hear
wrote it.
his speech over there.
Okay.
so his
That's
speech
yeah,
is worse. That's why I want to listen to it.
yes.
TikToks. You can hear it. Can you
I
see?
get it. I get it. I get
This
it.
is him. 100%.
I think he wrote it, and I
Yeah,
think he
yeah,
wrote.
yeah,
I think he wrote the vice president's speech as well at
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
DP whatever.
yeah. This is him. 100%.
So he just over there in his white robe writing speeches. Okay.
Yeah, sure. You don't want to continue?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, we can.
Traceable. Because this, after all, is the very foundation of the transatlantic bond. Acting together in this way, we will not just help recover a sane foreign policy, it will restore to us a clear sense of ourselves. It will restore a place in the world. In so doing, it will rebuke and deter the forces of civilizational erasure that today menace both America and Europe alike. So in a time of headlines heralding the end of
Stop that.
You know what he's talking about?
I
The
told
great
you.
replacement theory. That's what he's talking about. Exactly.
Could you touch that back 5 seconds? 5 seconds. When he talk about the Great Western Erasure, that's what he said?
so doing,
Yes.
it will rebuke and deter the forces of civilizational erasure that today menace both America and Europe alike. So in a time of headlines,
Stop. Isn't this fucking loaded and coded, bro? Civilizational erasure. Who's erasing their civilization?
Well, the clock is, that's it. That's the,
It's the great replacement theory. They're
no,
saying in
no.
2045
Yeah,
they will
that's
be the
one
minority
element.
race.
Yeah, yep.
The great erasement theory is one element, though. But
Mhm.
I don't think there's nobody replacing them in their own place. I don't think it's their domestic population.
the empire is receding.
The
That's
You
what
know
they
what?
mean.
empire
They
is
being replaced.
receding.
I'm gonna
The
say something though.
empire is receding.
I'm gonna say something though. If you look at France, if you look at Belgium, if you look at the UK,
Man, you
if you
call
look
not
at you see that if you look at Denmark, if you look at even the United States in itself, there is some kind of erosion.
You're hurting Pat, man.
Ayo.
Ah, what am I
You're
gonna
hurting
call
my
these
brother
names?
Pat, man.
I'm
I
not gonna
figured it
call
out,
these
Tayo.
names.
Tayo, I figured it out. I figured
You,
it out.
you figure what I'm talking about?
Let me tell you what. Yeah, I figured it out. Let me just tell you.
Yeah.
They don't want us using this as a news to push information. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Like we
100%.
can talk about history. We
Yeah.
can talk about
Entertainment, yeah.
entertainment.
I
But
think that
when we start talking about news or claims,
the
they don't like
trigger
that.
the trigger was just
Yes,
the
yes.
trigger was just
So when you start making this what you're about to do now, that's what they
yeah,
don't like.
yeah,
That's
they don't
why
like the
stuff.
trigger. Yeah.
But if it's history and stuff like that, they don't mind that.
But that being said though, the countries I just mentioned now, that's probably like half of them.
Could you
But
name
do
them
you
again,
notice?
please? Could you name them again, please?
No, I'm not putting no. To be honest though, if you look at those countries though, there's been some
Pat was brushing his teeth, man. He almost choked.
there
He almost choked, man.
Toothbrush broke. The toothbrush broke.
The toothbrush broke, man. Oh, stop, Tayo, stop.
Oh my God. There's actually been an erosion of non-white tea in those countries. Because if you look at those countries, say for example the UK, an Indian man, what's the problem?
Goodness. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do with you, Tayo? What am I gonna do with you?
Okay, let me run it
What am I
back.
gonna do with you?
Oh my
Taya, you about
goodness.
to get me in trouble too. 'Cause
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
supposed to be moderating.
okay. Let me tell you. Okay, say for example, the country of the
Of the
queen.
cow. Let's call him the cow.
An Indian man used to be the president. Yeah, the mayor
Okay,
of
I
the
know what you're
biggest
talking
city.
about. Gotcha.
Yeah, the biggest
Is
city.
it time to switch? Is it time to switch? Because Tayo is not acting
You know what I'm saying? Follow up the next sentence.
He's not acting in accord.
Let me fall back.
He's not acting in accord.
I can't.
It's
I
not
can't do it.
easy, man. It's not
It's
easy.
not-
I almost
no,
got
no.
in
At
trouble
the end
too.
of the day, Tayo, I don't think you even need to go into detail. I got exactly what you're saying, and I think most people get what you're saying. Like,
Yeah, that's about it. That's about it.
there's an erosion. There's a
There is. Let's be
political
honest though.
erosion. This big unipolar power is becoming a regional power. The world is realizing that they don't really produce nothing that they need, and security that they're exporting nobody really want, because you're securing them from who? Yourself. You know what I'm saying? So, it's a paradigm shift.
How about here at home? Here at home too. Here at home too. That woke, they call it woke. You know what I'm
Oh yeah,
saying?
they bastardized that term.
They're so against that. That's why we have to codify our words here. And that's why you have the FBAs and ADOs and this and that. It's the way to counter
They killed woke and then rose up FBA.
Yeah. Because they believe the woke people. They believe that the extremists, that the T groups. That's what the Orange Man keeps saying.
Did you see? Yeah, did you see when Steve Bannon? Wait, we can't say that name either. Jesus.
Man, I went to go take a small break, and here you go dropping some of the worst names.
Hold on, I want to play something.
Well, I was gonna say that dude was interviewing the EP guy.
Yeah.
And then the EP guy was like, I think the B guy that I was talking about, SP guy, I just mentioned earlier, had mentioned something about BLK people. Y'all seen that interview when he was like, "Oh, that's like a BLK joke."
I've seen some clips, but
Yeah, and then the EP guy was like, "No, I don't make BLK jokes."
Who's the Eb guy?
Hey,
You already know. You already know.
Hold on.
You already know.
The
Yeah,
And
listen
F
to
is
this.
that
Listen to
guy.
AS
so
made a
Yes.
comment.
so
AS made a
here's the
comment.
thing though.
Oh my God.
Here's what the SP guy said. He was like, "Oh yeah, you're too woke. Yeah, you're too woke. Yeah, you're part of that woke group, aren't you?" You know, that kind of let me know that is also, of course, under a lot of threat here. So there's a lot of things going on that's making the evil empire at home and abroad shooken up. You know, so much things happening that they're
Alright.
trying to counter.
Can I
Hey,
drive home?
yeah, go
Drive
ahead.
it home, mama. Take the
I just want
steering
to drive
wheel.
home a point.
Mm-hmm.
Something that TikTok was basically he was saying, right? Out of all the negative things that we're going to hear for the rest of this speech and what we've already heard, everything is very, horrifying. It's digging up old wounds. It's saying we're going back to whatever, or we're going to expose what we've been doing, do it openly. I will say that the one good thing that came out of this is that by default, they are openly acknowledging the existence of multipolarity. And so for so many times, it was usually like the dragon or the bear who was talking about, we are in a multipolar era, things are going to change. And, the eagle, they would kind of like skirt around it a little bit. They would just talk about threats and all that. And kind of what they're hinting at. But like with this, having this as their whole address at a security conference in, I was about to say Ulaya, I don't know. What do you call that area? I don't know.
Where? Which one?
Can I say Europe? The place that wants to be a continent, but it's not. That peninsula. That's what I'm gonna call them. The peninsula people. Yeah, having that whole conference there in Munich, and the whole speech is just about how threatened they are, about how the world is changing. It lets people know for sure, it's a stamp that multipolarity is here. These people are shook. Okay, for better or worse, they're going to try to, grab the reins and make things the way that they want them to be. But this definitely concludes that whole debate, if there was ever still a debate about it, that multipolarity is here. And that, African people in the global south in general, we need to take advantage of that.
I
I
want to
don't know
hug
if
you
we
so
are.
bad.
I don't know if we are.
I want to
Emmy,
hug you so bad. Beautiful
Emmy,
analysis. Wonderful analysis.
Emmy.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
What's up?
Spot on.
So
Can
what's
I
I trade, right?
can I read a short
Hold on, I want to say one.
inspiration?
Let me play this real quick. I've been wanting to play this, and then you can come in. It's real quick, 40 seconds.
In the
Yeah.
United States of America, you don't have to apologize for being white anymore.
Mhm.
And if you're an Asian, you don't have to talk around your skin color when you're applying for college, because we judge people based on who they are, not on ethnicity and things they can't control. We don't persecute you for being male, for being straight, for being gay, for being anything. The only thing that we demand is that you be a great American patriot. And if you're that, you're very much on our team.
That's domestic here.
Okay, then.
I,
Is
I
that who
think
I
that
think
I
it
think that
is?
guy came to flag my account. By the way, guys.
Well. Sounds like
That
a
was who?
not great American.
So can I read a
Who,
word of
you?
encouragement
Yes, go ahead.
and inspiration in these changing
Sure, go
times?
ahead.
Yes, ready again. When our civilization had reached the noonday of progress, they were still running naked and sleeping in holes and caves with bats, rats, and other insects and animals. After we had already unfathomed the mystery of the stars and reduced the heavenly constellation to minute and regular calculus, they were still backwards men living in ignorance and blatant darkness. The world today is indebted to us for the benefits of civilization. They stole our arts and sciences from Africa. Then why should we be ashamed of ourselves? Their modern improvements are but duplicates of a grander civilization that we reflected thousands of years ago, without the advantage of what is buried and still hidden to be resurrected and reintroduced by the intelligence of our generation and our posterity. Why should we be ashamed of us? Why should we be discouraged because somebody laughs at us today? Who to tell what tomorrow will bring forth? Did they not laugh at Christ, Muhammad? Did they not laugh at Moses, Christ, Muhammad? Was there not a Carthage, Greece, and Rome? We see and have changes every day, so plan, work, be steadfast, and be not dismayed. As the small hats stick together by its religion, the whites stick together by the assumption and the unwritten law of superiority, the Mongolian by the precious tie of blood, so likewise the black man must unite in one grand racial hierarchy. Our union must know no clime, no boundary, no nationality. Black men world over must practice one faith that of confidence in themselves with one cause, one goal, one destiny. Clear vision, clear
Must be my
vision,
guy Marcus Garvey.
clear vision, clear vision, clear vision. The man said, didn't they not have Carthage, Greece, and Rome? Wasn't there a Moses, Christ, Muhammad? We see and have changes every day. So pray, work, be steadfast, be not dismayed. Bumbo clad, back up. Clear future. You understand? Yeah, we are optimists. Optimists, Afro-optimists, Afro-futurists. Rastafari. Why it don't seem encouraging? It seems like I depressed y'all, man. All right, let's talk
Nah, that
about
was amazing, bro. I was digging it.
Yeah, man, you woke us up. Shit.
Yeah, bro.
You said
y'all want me to talk about some sexy red or some shit.
Yep.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
that's BLK people.
That ain't nothing
Hey,
sexy about
yes.
her. We can
Yeah.
pass on that one.
I'm just
Una
messing with
samaje
you.
ancestor.
Huh?
Una samaje ancestor.
Ancestor. When I say my name.
Yeah.
Can I?
I got more if
Ancestors.
you want more.
Oh.
Y'all want more? Y'all
I want
want
to say
more?
that.
I
yeah,
got
yeah,
more.
TikTok. Come on.
I got more, baby. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, we need something to balance out that
Hey,
hate speech we just had.
but Little Rubio is not done, guys.
Oh, he's not done?
Oh
Nope.
yeah, I'm
Come on.
sorry.
Hey,
No, he going on and on.
Oh, geez.
we're just dissecting his speech. That's all. We missed a lot yesterday from what we're listening to now. Toxic,
Well, I didn't miss
save
none
that
of
for
that
the end.
shit.
Toxic, save that for the
Yeah,
end.
I will. But we ain't missed none of that
Heralding
shit. Trust me. I ain't missed none of that shit.
You
We
didn't?
just ain't get it. Nah, dog, except for the little piece you claim. I forgot that little piece you was talking about. But trust me, I dissected this shit by myself, man. This was one of the loudest tiki torch speeches I've heard in a long time.
All
That
right.
was good, man.
That's the
You
Fourth
give
Reich.
white robe.
I call that shit, yeah,
White robe
white robe and
vibes.
tiki torch. That shit gave Fourth Reich.
Yeah, we have
No Red Cross in the chest.
Eh?
No
Yeah,
red.
Yeah, all
yeah.
that. The shits on the head.
All right. All right.
the end of the transatlantic era, let it be known and clear to all that this is neither our goal nor our wish. Because for us Americans, our home may be in the Western Hemisphere, but we will always be a child of Europe. Our story began with an Italian explorer whose adventure into the
No, that's not how it began. All right, I'll leave it alone.
Explorer?
I'll leave it alone. I'll leave it alone.
Oh my
Great
God.
unknown to discover a new world, brought Christianity to the Americas, and became the
It was a Mansa Musa.
legend that defined the imagination of our pioneer nation. Our first colonies were built by English settlers, to whom we owe not just the language we speak, but the whole of our political and legal system. Our frontiers were shaped by Scots-Irish, that proud, hardy clan from the hills of Ulster that gave us Davy Crockett
No, it was an Igbo man.
and Mark Twain and Teddy Roosevelt and Neil Armstrong. Our great Midwestern heartland was built by German farmers and craftsmen who transformed empty plains into a global agricultural powerhouse.
It was an indigenous American Indian, sorry.
And by the way,
Hold on.
dramatically
Pat.
upgraded the quality of
I want you to take note of something though. In all the stories though, you see how it doesn't mention African Americans.
Of course.
In all about the American story.
The only time he mentioned them once, he was saying that the sins they committed,
Yeah.
which includes everybody, not just African American, but everybody, they committed the sins
Yeah,
against.
but them FBA's been look at the story from that angle. They never do. Go ahead. All right, Pat.
who transformed empty plains into a global agricultural powerhouse. And by the way, Western Heartland was built by German farmers and craftsmen who transformed empty plains into a global agricultural powerhouse. And by the way, dramatically upgraded the quality of American beer. Our expansion into the interior followed the footsteps of French fur traders and explorers whose names, by the way, still adorn the street signs and town names all across the Mississippi Valley. Our horses, our ranches, our rodeos.
He's talking about expansion in America, right?
Yes,
Yep.
and connecting it into Mississippi is very telling for obvious reasons. If you know anything about
there you
Eagle
go.
history.
Like he
Yeah.
spoke about the plantations and not even acknowledged the African American.
That's why I posted. I told you the other time. Do you see that? You see?
He spoke about the weeds that made the beer,
Yeah,
that made the beer.
nothing about agriculture, about everything, and never mentioned. You see how where did come on? No, I don't want to talk about it.
Mississippi is a choice. If I remember correctly, it is. I think it's the poorest state in the Eagle country, but it's either between that or Louisiana. But either way, Mississippi has the history, like a specific history.
Why is that? Why is it always coming last?
Because it is the so-called blackest state on average, right? Like, yeah, so there were a lot of enslaved Africans who ended up there. You know, they were brought there and things like that. And then on top of that, because of that, they enact horrifically discriminatory laws and policies, allegedly, right? So, like, for instance, the prison there is one of the worst as well. Just a lot of harsh things about the state. Beautiful people, you know, obviously, but it's a harsh place. They even had the I think like the Freedom Summer had something to do with Mississippi, if I remember correctly. I don't know if that's where the young man Emmett went. I think that's where he went. I'm not sure. Yeah, Emmett Till, he went there and they did that to him. They were doing that to a lot of people back then. They still do it, you know, hidden, allegedly. But it's known for being a very, very cruel place, is what I would say. And even, you know, Nina Simone, she made that song about them. And
Stick a pin.
okay, gotcha.
The entire romance of the cowboy archetype that became synonymous with the American West. These were born in Spain. And our largest and most iconic city was named New Amsterdam before it was named New York. And you know, in the year that my country was founded, Lorenzo and Catalina Giraldi lived in Casal Monferrato in the Kingdom of Piedmont, Sardinia. Jose and Manuela Reina lived in Sevilla, Spain. I don't know what, if anything, they knew about the 13 colonies which had gained their independence from the British Empire. But here's what I'm certain of. They could have never imagined that 250 years later, one of their direct descendants would be back here today on this continent as the chief diplomat of that infant nation. And yet here I am, reminded by my own story that both our histories and our fates will always be linked. Together, we rebuilt a shattered continent in the wake of 2 devastating world wars. When we found ourselves divided once again by the Iron Curtain, the Free West linked arms with the courageous dissidents struggling against tyranny in the East to defeat Soviet communism. We have fought against each other, then reconciled, then fought, then reconciled again. And we have bled and died side by side on battlefields from Kapyong to Kandahar. And I'm here today to leave it clear that America is charting the path for a new century of prosperity, and that once again, we want to do it together with you, our cherished allies and our oldest friends. We want to do it together with you, with a Europe that is proud of its heritage and of its history, with a Europe that has the spirit of creation and liberty that sent ships out into uncharted seas and birthed our civilization, with a Europe that has the means to defend itself and the will to survive. We should be proud of what we achieved together in the last century, but now we must confront and embrace the opportunities of a new one. Because yesterday is over. The future is inevitable. And our destiny together awaits. Thank you.
I don't know why there's a lot more
Good for that.
feed left, but I'll check it out later. Go ahead.
Just take 10. That's all I had to say.
All right. He's done. He had an interview afterwards, but I'll check it out later.
I
How
know
many
it's
times did they
done.
clap during the speech and after? I think they
What's
clapped
that?
twice during the speech and once after.
Yeah, standing ovation.
When I heard that, I felt sick. I'm like, you motherfuckers are disgusting. That's how I felt. Excuse me.
But their report some of them spoke against it eventually in their press conference, but who's they to trust? The broken treaty crew? That's the broken treaty civilization, man. That's the broken treaty civilization. Ask them American Indians, ask them African chiefs and leaders, ask the East Indians, ask the freaking Australian natives, the Aboriginals, ask the people from Madagascar. The broken treaty civilization, you know? Ah, boy. Well, I hear the words of the higher man say, Babylon, your throne going down, going down. Babylon, your throne going down. Big up to the musical prophets, you know what I'm saying?
That guy
So,
came.
are
Go
those
ahead.
legal words to sing? Are those legal words to sing? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll be walking on eggshells.
Babylon is, it's not a real
Okay.
name for the,
It's in the Bible.
in the Bible.
Babylon,
We're having
your
Bible study.
throne
That's what this is.
gone down.
I was gonna ask something. Okay, so
How long
we
you
can
been?
discuss
Sorry.
more.
gonna ask George
Oh,
something.
my bad, my bad. I was gonna say
Go ahead.
the part that I was referring to earlier, I think it's in the comments. I think it's afterwards when he was talking about how it's geopolitical malpractice. If y'all want to hear that, I think that's like in the questions.
Please, fam.
Some good words for you, man. You want to hear it? Welcome too, man. Welcome.
Yeah, let's hear. Let's hear.
Let no religious scruples, no political machination divide us. Let us hold together under all climates and in every country, making among ourselves a racial empire upon which the sun have never set.
Never seen, my
Right.
brother.
Let no voice but your own speak to you from the depths. Let no influence but your own rouse you in time of peace and in time of war. Hear all, but attend only to which concerns you. Your allegiance, your allegiance shall be your race, then your family, and the great and the great motherland. Remember always that the JEW is first a JEW, political and no, a Jew in his a J
Oh, they got you.
Stick a pin.
a,
Stick a pin.
Okay,
Stick a pin.
fruit.
Stick a
We
pin.
love.
Stick a pin. Stick a
yeah
pin. Stick
yeah
a pin. Stick a pin. Stick a pin.
yeah